Clayton Kershaw now available? First question's from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead.
Clayton, provided the team gets the job done tonight, what would it mean for you to take the ball with an opportunity to win a world championship tomorrow?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to get the job done tonight. We feel good about Julio obviously, and, our offense and things like that. So we're all focused on game 4 tonight, and I haven't let myself think that far yet, but, I know either way I'm pitching tomorrow, and hopefully, it's 3-1 for sure.
Human tendency is to look ahead, but you guys have done a really good job of not doing so. How are you able to stay focused on just the task at hand and compartmentalize and micromanage each game?
Yeah, it's not easy. I think when you've been working so long and so hard for one goal and it's getting closer and closer with each win, it's harder not to think about the end game and what that might be like. And but you just have to. I mean, it's just too hard to think in the future when you have a great team that you're playing against that you have to focus on winning 2 more games, and that starts with tonight. So for me, at least, it's just a constant focus on the next day, the next game, the next pitch. And you just have to remind yourself, you just have to, really discipline yourself to do it.
Why is this team built for greatness this year?
Well, it's just a great team. I think top to bottom, Andrew did a great job, put together a great group of guys. And, we've got, I think, a great clubhouse. Everybody seems to get along pretty well. A lot of guys that can make people laugh, which is important. You got a lot of guys that are down to business, which is important. And you got a ton of talent, which is really important.
Next question's from Dave Vessa. Go ahead.
Along those same lines, Clayton, how much do you credit being in this bubble? And we've heard about the group text. We've heard about that courtyard where you guys talk baseball when you leave here. How much do you credit just no outside distractions and only baseball 24/7 for your success?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can go both ways. Obviously, sometimes it's nice to turn it off every once in a while, go home. But when you're waking up and seeing Walker chipping golf balls right next to you, it's hard to turn it off. So, but it's been really fun. I think for the most part, I think that's just the biggest thing is waking up and walking outside and seeing everybody hanging out and kiddos getting to run around together and things like that. I think in this time of life when everybody's trying to stay apart and shelter in place and things like that, to have a safe space to do that has been really special for us as teammates, but also our wives, also our kiddos. Just to be able to do that's been great.
Did you notice anything different as far as confidence in Austin, going back to spring training, Austin Barnes, and for his evolution this year, the way he's contributed with his bat?
I've seen Barnesy do it before, so we all knew it was in there as far as his offensive ability. He swung the bat. I think at one point during the playoffs 2 years ago, he's hitting 5-hole for us, just like Will is now. So, I think it's his offensive ability is in there. And I know he credits, Mookie hitting with Mookie at one point during the season. It's kind of like a jumping off point for him. So whether that gave him a little added confidence, I don't know. But I think from there, you've definitely seen a turning point and him swinging the bat pretty well. Next question is from Cary Osborne. Good.
Clayton, over the last 7 years, I would imagine that Justin Turner and Kenley Jansen are 2 of the faces you've seen the most in your life. Can you just talk about the impact that both men have made on you personally and professionally?
Yeah, it's we've been here a while now. Kenley was my catcher in GCL in the Gulf Coast League in 2006. So I've known Kenley for basically half our life. And now that JT's been mainstay for the last 6 or 7 years, it's I think when you've been around guys like that care as much as they do, that want to have success, that want to be a part of a World Series championship team in LA. The longer that you've been together and the more times that you've not succeeded, it's going to make that time even more special. So it'll be fun to give those guys a hug if we ever get this thing done.
Next question's from jackharris. Go ahead.
Clayton, just over your career, what have you learned about approaching these second starts in a series when you face a team for the second time in a week? Do you have to change much? Do you go back and look at your first start? What is that process like?
Yeah, it's obviously the first game that you have faced a team that they haven't seen you is a little bit different. Just sorry, I was distracted. A lot of stuff going on back there. I guess all to say, yeah, you definitely have to take into consideration what you've done against these guys in the past in the game one, and then maybe look back, and you might have to change some things that you might not have liked, or change approaches or different things like that. But obviously, anytime that hitters see you, they get a little bit more of an advantage. So they've seen me for a few at bats now, and might have to change a few things up. But for the most part, just continue to pitch the way that you pitch.
And then Dave mentioned that before that talk that Mookie had with the team back in the spring, that he texted you first. What was the message he was sending to you? Were you surprised to get a text like that from a guy who had just joined the team? What do you remember about that moment?
Yeah, I just talked to Mookie on the phone, and he just asked what I thought about it, and I said, yeah, man, do whatever you think. And it's not about superstar status or being a World Series champion like he is. It's just about he wanted to make us better as a team, and he wanted to be a part of that, and he saw some things to help out. And I obviously appreciated his phone call, but he didn't need to do that for sure.
Next question is from Adam McCalvy. Go ahead.
Clayton, what value, if any, do you put on personal postseason records? You're moving up that strikeout list, but I imagine for you, it takes a lot of good teammates to get in, the position enough times to have a chance to set a record like that.
Yeah, just win. Postseason is just about winning. So just try to win 2 more games as a team.
Next question is from Tyler Kepner. Go ahead.
About how much you care about this and how much you obviously care about this. How do you balance that feeling of wanting it so badly with not trying to make too much of it and give into the pressure of a World Series game?
What do you say? Why is it so hard?
Can you repeat that, Tyler? Can you repeat that, Tyler?
I think he said something about wanting it so bad. I guess just like, everybody wants it. It's not any different for me or anybody else. So just using that, the care factor is obviously what creates, the butterflies, and you just want to do well. And so I don't think that changes from anybody in either clubhouse. So it's just how you handle that, harness that in, and use that to perform.
Yeah, time for one more. Go ahead, JP.
Clayton, Max was on here a little bit ago talking about the difficulty of not being able to see friends and family in Dallas. For you personally, have you been able to do anything more than like wave at people when you're on the field? And just what's been the most difficult aspect of being here without being here?
Overall, I'm actually kind of glad that, this bubble could have been anywhere. So for us to get to be in Dallas, and some of my friends and family to be able to come to the games, in this type of environment, traveling around might have been difficult. So the fact that anybody gets to come and watch a World Series game that I get to be a part of is, I think, pretty special, all things considered. So yeah, there's some challenges, and no, I haven't really seen anybody or really waved at anybody either. But, we've gotten some care packages dropped off at the hotel and things like that. And, hey, it's 4 or 5 more days, and we'll be able to see him as much as we want after that.
Thanks, Clayton. Thanks, everybody.
All right.